Hello and welcome to another Adventures with Paul. Today's adventure is a 10-day adventure riding from Buffalo to Washington, D.C., picking up the Gap and C&O in Pittsburgh. So just outside of the Buffalo Niagara Airport parking garage. Right now I'm in basically an urban environment. You can see that I've got lots of majorly traveled roads here. And I'm riding on a sidewalk. They've got the bike path or the bike lane going on the sidewalk and then back on the road. So should be good until I get to the trail, then about another 8 miles to get down to the lake. Well, that gets me over the Strode and onto the first of many bike paths and bike lanes, which I'm thankful for. Well, this is nice. They've got some bike lane infrastructure here in Buffalo. Not every street, but I was able to make a route that's fairly decent from the airport out to the lake, and then I've got a lakeside road to follow. That's an iron button. I just read the interpretive sign, and that was part of a iron making process. And riding along Lake Erie is pretty scenic. It's kind of the start and namesake of this tour, Great Lakes to DC. So starting point looks like the old roadway used to be over here to my right, and then storms over the course of years have completely eroded the bank. There's Buffalo off in the distance, and then you got a nice panorama of Lake Erie. That's Canada on the other side. I'm on the Seaway Trail and I'm on the road that borders the lake. Now, when I say borders, it's not right on the lake, because that's reserved for the fancy homes, the big homes. They're right on the lake, have lakefront property. And those of us who don't own that lakefront property have to ride on the road, which is next to it. But still a pretty view. I'm off the road. It's kind of peaceful. There we go. Now I can see the lake. And it's a good part to my day. I made it to Dunkirk. I'm about half mile from the hotel where I'm staying tonight. But riding along the lake again. Saw it earlier this morning. Getting to see it again now before I go get myself something to eat tonight. Welcome to day 2 of Adventures with Paul. 55 yesterday, about 62, 63 today. Good stay at a hotel last night. Tonight is wild, stealth, unimproved campsite camping. We'll see how that goes. Pretty peaceful today. I got out of Dunkirk. I'm into some rural areas, a lot of agriculture. It's going to be up and down hilly. Of any day that I'm worried about dogs, it's going to be today, just because I got a lot of roads, rural areas. It's going to be somewhat rural, residential, where people are least likely to have their dogs tied up. So let's see how that goes. This is nice. Just came to the top of a hill and looking over this vineyard. You can see all the way out in the distance, that blue line. That's Lake Erie, and probably tough to see at this distance, but there's also a windmill right there on the lake, which is giving us some nice clean energy. Okay, 13 miles in, I'm on the Chautauqua Rail Trail, which I saw a sign as part of the Erie to Pittsburgh Trail. Didn't even know that was a thing. This is a pretty much unimproved rail trail. It's not gravel, it's just kind of dirt with grass on it, but I'm rolling, so that's good. Thanks to the internet and cell service, the Prospect Station train wreck happened here on Christmas Eve in 1872. There were 25 lives lost. The train somehow derailed and crashed in the gully behind me, and there are still descendants to this day that remember it, and it's memorialized every single year in this area. I just rode over a repurposed railroad bridge, and I don't know about you, but I think it's great that we're reusing a lot of this old infrastructure instead of just destroying it and doing something else with it. This is a really nice section here in the village of Mayville. The bike trail goes right along the water here, and you got the people with their boats in the water, the long finger docks going out there right on Chautauqua Lake. Here's something fun. Just took a break and got some lunch at the Necker's Company General Store. This is a real, genuine general store. They had boots, they had clothing, they had a whole bunch of stuff, and they had some pre-made sandwiches. But the experience, awesome. I got enough fuel and I'm ready to go and hit the campsite tonight. I'm rolling through Corey, Pennsylvania, crossed over the state line. I'm now in PA, and I'm going through these small towns. Love these little small towns. You got little main streets to explore and different shops, and they're still alive, which is really neat. Well, I think I found my campsite for the night. It's right off of one of the bike trails here. It's pretty well hidden. I'm here in the tent. I have my dinner of champions, pepperoni and cheese. I also have pepperoni pizza combos. I've got my water and probably about 3/4 full on this, so I'm good for the night. Welcome to Adventures with Paul, the Great Lakes to DC trip, day 3. Yesterday was a bit rough. There were some hills I didn't expect it. The last 10 miles I was really looking forward to it being done, but found a good spot off of a trail, completely in the wild. Wasn't bothered at all last night. Looks like I'm the first one up on the North Branch Trail this morning. Time to start the ride. Sunday morning, 47 degrees. Day 3, we've got some new things coming up today. So if day 1 was riding along the lake, day 2 is going through agricultural sites and starting to hit some of the greenways or rails to trails. Today hits the Allegheny Trail, Allegheny River Trail, and then I go through the site of the first producing oil well in the US. Hey buddy. Guess I'm gonna have to have breakfast at Mickey D's since the little corner store is closed. As I said, this trip before I get to the Gap is a lot of non-contiguous bike trails. This is a small little path in the town of Titusville, which is known for the site of the first oil well in the country. That is Pennsylvania crude, pulled from this area.
No drivetrain really, it's all just directly connected. And steam engines like this one and commons like you would see on the steam engines, steam locomotives rather, fill up steam and exactly. I've been in use about 8 this morning, soaking the fire. It's all wood fire, exactly as it would have been in Grand State.
Time to hit the trail south through the Allegheny River. But man, how cool is it that this is the site where oil was first drilled and found in 1859. I can think of no more appropriate way on the Oil Creek Trail than to pave it with asphalt, which is a byproduct of oil. But I'll tell you what, this is really smooth rolling. This is a nice trail. Boy, I'm relieved that this is in place. Until about 3 weeks ago, this bridge was closed to everything, including bikes, and that would have been a long, probably additional 15-20 miles onto an already 72-mile day. So happy this is in place for pedestrians. This is McClintock Well number 1. Since 1861, this has been producing oil, which makes it the oldest continuously operating oil well in the world. Welcome to the McClintock Trail, everybody. This parallels a rail line here, separated by the fence, so we don't collide, which is a good plan. And this is Oil City. I love going through the paths and the rural pathways, and then you wind up in a downtown. It's got shops and shows a vibrant economy. It's just a blast. And then, you know, you can resupply at these points if necessary, or get your taxes done. It is dark in here. I'm going to keep this slow because I can hardly see anything. Well, that wraps up day 3. Today was long. Today was about a 75-mile day. That's the longest one I've done this year. Coming out of Emlenton, it was like this, just going straight up. So I'm not gonna say if I walked it or not, but that'll just be our little secret. And then right across the street from the campsite was a Subway, so I stopped in and was like, yes please, I'd like a Subway. And I got some garlic chicken thing, which was, well, I mean, it's Subway, it's palatable. Came back here and ate that. That was the first thing on the bill. Sat down, ate dinner, did some camp chores, showered, and now I'm just waiting for the evening to come on, and then I'll climb into the tent and look forward to tomorrow. Welcome to Adventures with Paul, day 4. I'm doing something a little out of my character today. I'm riding a completely new route. Originally I had a 78 plan today and decided that was just going to be a little too much after yesterday's 75, especially with the 4,000 plus feet of elevation to climb. So I decided to do a straight route, which gets me 54 miles, 3,100 feet of climbing, and it's completely new. Well, I'm about 2¼ miles into the day, and about 10% of my climbing is done, so I'm in a little bit of a flat stretch here, but that was a climb out of the valley. I'm going to tell you why today is a little different for me. I'm a planner. I plan the ride and then ride the plan. So the advantage of that is I know what I'm going to see, like, for example, the Drake Well Museum yesterday. And then I knew where I was going to stay at the campground last night. I'd have a shower, and I knew the next morning I could stop over at the truck stop and get a big egg, bacon, sourdough bread meal. So today, I don't have that. I'm just riding a 55-mile route and seeing what's coming on the route. See? You know, here's an example. I just hit like a 6-way intersection and it said hard right, so I made the hardest right on there. But it really wasn't a hard right. It was just kind of a straight. So I ended up backtracking a little bit. And that's kind of my life. That's why I planned. Now that is bodacious corn. Not a bad view for a Monday morning. I was a little disheartened when my navigation said turn left onto 7 Hills Road. So I'm gonna count them. One hill. Ah, 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 ah. 2 hills climbed. Ah, ah, ah. I love to count. Just finished climbing hill number 3, and I look in front of me. There's hill number 4. Looks more like a wall. I chose this route, I guess. Hey buddy, what you doing? Well, I successfully conquered the 7 Hills Road, but this looks more like the Wall of Cthulhu. I am an absolute fan of these converted rail corridors. You know, this is once where a railroad went through and it ceased to use it any longer, so now people can use it for recreation. Ah, 57 miles, over 4,000 feet of climbing. That was a good day. I earned it. It is 2:45. Welcome to Adventures with Paul, day 5. I'm packing up here in my hotel room. Glad that I got to stay here last night. A really comfy bed. You can see I didn't make the bed this morning, but I don't care. Well, there's no real easy way to get to where I was staying at my hotel into the center of Pittsburgh, but at least this road is under construction. It looks like they cut it down from like a 3-lane or a 4-lane to just a 2-lane. So I have this whole side to myself. Other than being noisy, I feel super safe. This is a nice little square on the ride. Something. Well, I'm hoping this leads to the trail because it's in this industrial area, so gotta have faith in the GPS, right? Haha! And just when I thought it was going to be a sketchy area, I hit the park. Not like 30 seconds after I get into that park, I'm routed onto this gravel section next to the rail lines, which look to be active rail lines. So if a train comes along, I'm gonna skedaddle off to that side because I don't want to mess with a train until Saturday when I'm taking the Amtrak home. This is a way smoother trail. Woo. Hey, I endured on the last rocky one. I can certainly take this one. I'm on the Three Rivers Heritage Trail, and it's paved, and they've got a whole bunch of bridges going over, linking the two sides over the, I think it's the Allegheny River on this side, and then this links up with the Monongahela, and then it becomes the Ohio River. Welcome to Pittsburgh, everybody. I have officially ended my Erie to Pittsburgh section of the tour for several reasons. One, I have no idea where the official endpoint is, so that's right here. And two, I'm going to be starting the gap over at the Point State Park fountain, and I want to separate that section of the trip. And that's it for me. It was a good section of trail. I enjoyed the Ohio to, well, the Erie to Pittsburgh side. Once I cross this bridge, I'll swing by the fountain, and then we will start the Gap and C&O portion of the bikepacking journey. And I'm excited. It's good to be back. I rode it in 2016 and 2015 through, and I'm looking forward to it again.